Hello and welcome to the Inbetween podcast. I'm your host, Joe Scott. I'm joined here by Tony at RT. How are you doing, Tony?
Hello, I'm doing great. It's GMT time. I feel pretty good.
We're in UTC, the Universal Time Code?
Yeah, GM2, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, GM2.
Fair enough. Yeah,
I refuse to change it just because we need a apparent universal name when, like, what's wrong with a historical name?
Well,
like, it's not like the historical name has, like, racial tensions attached to it.
It's Greenwich Mean Time, which doesn't make a lot of sense to anyone who doesn't live in England, because they have no idea what that is.
But that's where it's invented, and that's where everyone started using it, so it's historic. And Greenwich is a place in London. Its mean time is a mean time.
I didn't even know where Greenwich was until I looked up GMT, so it really doesn't matter to me.
Oh yeah, but the name doesn't really matter either, so I don't know why we need a universal name when I feel like we should take credit for it. I mean, I'm sure that other places in the world also had their own central time starting with them, but we all use GMT, let's be honest.
Yeah, so I was very confused this morning because as we live in the digital age, my computer and my phone automatically changed my time for me, and then also I have a radio controlled clock above me, so I look up and I'm like, wait a minute, why are these games I'm going to watch on Twitch starting an hour early? And I'm like, what the fuck? The clocks went back. Oh no, I'm missing it.
See, you weren't prepared then?
I didn't know. I thought it was the end of this month that it was going to happen.
No, it's the last Sunday of October.
Oh, okay. Because I thought it was going to happen around like Halloween. It was going to happen.
Right. The only problem with that is that next Sunday, I think it'd be the 1st of November.
Yeah, so I think it was probably the 30th last year, which is why I got confused.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't like changing the time.
No, would you consider GMT? I'm a GMT standard person.
So apparently everyone in the EU was we were going to start a revolution where we just didn't change the clocks. But apparently that got cancelled by COVID for some reason. I don't really understand how COVID cancelled not changing the clocks back.
I don't know. I don't know if it's because maybe my understanding was at some point the EU, like, there were restrictions, we were forced to change the clocks.
Yeah.
And then they went, you know what? We don't need this anymore. It doesn't matter if different countries at different times. So then it's like it wasn't a law anymore. As far as I'm concerned, like it still wasn't a law. So I don't know.
It's been delayed to 2021, Tony.
Yeah.
Next year will be the year of no clock changes, hopefully.
I guess they're busy doing other stuff. I don't know.
Yeah,
doing Google or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Smite, Tony. I know you're hyped for this. Available November 2020. I just think it's crazy. Like, there's certain games that have like crazy crossovers. Like the amount of what's the word? Commercialized characters they can get into their game. Like the games to this world is like Smash Bros. Dead by Daylight does this really well with horror characters. So this is really cool. I also like that they show off like they show off the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then you can also have like the original skins as well from like the 80s art style, which I think is really cool. But yeah, I don't play Smite. I just like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so that's why I put this on here.
Isn't this style very similar to like the 2004? I guess it's based on the modern ones more, actually.
It's got like the cel-shaded one that kind of reminds me of I think it was the Mutants in Manhattan one, the Platinum Games one.
Yeah.
Game that they made for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which you can't get, by the way. It doesn't exist. It got taken down because of licensing issues.
Yeah.
Licensing! That's
now, if licensing Oh yeah. But I fucking hate like. I feel like there should be like an infinite license thing. Like if you get a license to something to put into another product, it should be infinite while attached to
Well,
that product.
there was like a big problem recently where tons of streamers were getting like DMCA'd and
Yeah.
loads of people were like deleting clips and VODs, and like I think it was
Don't you
Kripari
should
and the
have known all
Hearthstone
this.
streamer. He was saying people were like, "Why don't you put music on your videos?" And he said, "I used to, but the royalty-free music that was in the YouTube audio library, they lost the license to it after like 8 years. So now I'm getting copyright strike for audio that was DMCA free."
For archival purposes, I find it really should like. Why can't we have a limited time, infinite license?
Imagine you did a job for someone and you said, "Oh, this is going to cost you £10," and then they paid you, and then they came back like 3 years later and went, "No, you owe me more money."
What?
He's like, "What?" And it's like, "No, you owe me more money."
But this is what I think. Like, I think there should be. Like, I think it should be standard. Like, it's going to sound really weird, but like a limited time, infinite license. Like limited time being, oh, we're going to give this. Like you can use this.
It comes down to like I think it's a lot of America really fought back against, like the copyright laws, like and stuff going into the public domain and stuff.
Yeah, they're really bad at that. But like, I just want to be like, oh, so like, say you give your music to YouTube, like, okay, we're gonna give it to you for like X amount. We've got a contract, so for the next 4 years, you can put this music into a video. And after the cutoff, it's like, right, no new videos can be made with this music, but all existing videos are like, yeah, that's fine. It's like the license is infinite when it's attached to the products they're in. I don't understand this like running out nonsense.
And then people they get like the license, and then they're like, fuck, we're gonna lose the license unless we make something with it. So they'll have like the Spider-Man license, and then they'll make like a little film randomly. I'm like, yes, we can keep the license for a little bit longer.
Such a dumb system. Why is that the way to keep your license?
Like, imagine, I think by this point, stuff like with the old system, I think stuff like James Bond would be public domain.
Yes.
There's like tons of stuff
where it should be.
Where this sort of
stuff. Who owns that?
Yeah.
Why do they need to own that?
I think Spider-Man might be public domain by now. I think he's been around long enough, maybe.
Yeah, is it okay? Which old system are you using though? Like, is it like the one after the death of the original creator, or the one after the original creation?
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like
into copyright law there.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, this is trailers, so we'll move on to the next trailer. Fallout 4 New Vegas showcase gameplay. Have you seen this, Tony? This looks sick.
No, I haven't.
Oh, you pull this up on your screen. I've been talking about for a while how a team was remaking New Vegas in Fallout 4, and we got like little snippets of quests and stuff. But this gameplay trailer makes it look like the project's like almost finished. Like it's crazy how much work they've put into this.
I'll say this: like Sky Oblivion looks like it's almost finished, but it's not. But
true. Yeah, that's the thing you have to point out with every single like Bethesda fan mod. It's like, oh my god, it's almost finished, and then it's like 10 years later, and then Bethesda comes along and goes, I don't like this, I'm shutting you down.
Yeah, I'll say that like you can get like it's kind of insidious. Like you can get like looking 90% done, but you're really like 30% done sometimes.
Yeah.
I think this might be further more than that, but I'm a bit dubious there's no quests in this trailer.
There's no questing in Fallout New Vegas, Tony. There's no questing.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So the one thing people will point out, one of the big things when it comes to fan remade mods is it's all fair use, but they would have to revoice act the entire game, because as soon as you take the original voice lines and you put them into a mod, that's you're taking somebody else's intellectual property of their voice work. Oh yeah, that's when you can get into some big legal troubles.
Yeah, I know. Like things like Sky Oblivion have tried to make it so like you have to own Oblivion to be able to install the mods. I think that's how they're going to do it.
It's a cool time for it to come out because it's actually the 10-year anniversary of the original Fallout New Vegas. Mm-hmm. So shout out to Obsidian for making that banger. And now turning Obsidian, Bethesda, Microsoft, make it happen. New Vegas too.
Outer Worlds is now on Steam, by the way.
Yeah, I did see that. That's pretty cool. Didn't I talk? I talked about that last week that it was coming to Steam, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Tony, this is a good one. Fatadeum. And I saw this randomly on Reddit, and I immediately watched this, and I was like, this looks like Black and White. And I was like, finally, a spiritual successor to Peter Molyneux's Black and White, where you get to play as a weird god game genre. This genre, I feel like, it was very confusing because it wasn't really an RTS game, but then it wasn't really... Yeah, it's a god game. The goddess game genre.
The goddess, yeah.
I think it's hard to explain like a game like Goddess or Black and White to someone who'd never played them.
Indirect gameplay. Yeah.
Yeah, so you kind of make actions, but you're kind of just pushing people towards certain things, and then you can of course because in this trailer they even show like the famous staple from Black and White was like the demigod, where you could send down like a minotaur to go and attack people. Yeah. So it's like you can kind of play this game like an RTS game, or you can like try and help your city prosper into a golden age or stuff like that. So that's pretty cool.
But even if you play like an RTS, you don't have direct control of like the human units, like, which I find really cool. It's a really cool
But
concept.
I thought this was interesting to point out because it's been a long time since I've seen a game like this at all. I don't really know if the god game genre is that popular, so seeing somebody else take this genre and go, hey, I like this game, let's try and make it for ourselves. Hopefully they don't abandon the project, they don't do a classic Peter. But let's
hope not.
I think it's time for someone else to have a go
Necromancy.
at this.
Hello.
Yeah. Tony, do you remember when I said the final Terraria update was out?
Yes.
Gotcha. Terraria 1.14 Journey's actual end. So it's out now, and I feel like the creators of Terraria, they keep being like, "This is the final update." Just kidding. We want to do something else. We want to do something else, and just one quick little tweak. Right?
Yeah.
But the features come. It is a kind of a smaller update. It's not as big as 1.14, right? Or 1.4. Sorry, I keep saying 1.14 because I'm getting Minecraft mixed in my head. So the Terraria Vanity Contest sets have been added from the contest winners. There is now proper credits. There is a new Princess NPC to talk to and trade with. There's a Flink staff, a Flink's fur coat, and accessory balance changes. I did look a little bit into this. So some of the vanity stuff they've changed is sometimes wings and a cape would be exclusive if you wanted them in your vanity slot. So you couldn't have wings if you wanted a cape at the same time. But they've kind of cut back on these rules. You can like mix and match way more vanity slots that otherwise would be exclusive with each other, which is pretty cool. So there's more customization basically in how your character looks. So it's kind of a small kind of vanity sort of update. It's not like a big one. We got our second part of the Dead by Daylight graphics update. I think a bunch of maps have been changed recently because the first half we got like the animation changes. So we got like brand new generator changes to how that works. Then we got like palette updates, that sort of stuff, and now all of the blue tint from every map has been removed. That's the main from the graphics update. What I noticed was all of the blue tint is gone from the map, which I don't know. That's kind of a more atmosphere thing. Whether you liked the blue tint atmosphere of Dead by Daylight or you kind of prefer the more clear, clean look.
One thing I would say is, okay, fine, get rid of the blue tint, but like it does seem to be a lot clearer to see everything. Like maybe there should be more smoke and fog in the maps if they're going to do this update.
Well, they have to find that balance between aesthetics and gameplay wise, because vision and especially stuff like crates. I've seen a lot of crates being changed. I'm looking at them thinking, oh, that crate's going to be harder to hide behind, or that crate's going to be easier to hide behind. Like, obviously, a lot of the graphics update is also directly a gameplay update because of the core nature of the game is It's a PvP game where you are hiding from your opponent, or you're trying to find your opponent essentially a lot of the time. So it's going to be pretty big. I have played on the new update. I played yesterday actually. I played some Michael Myers. If you don't know Michael Myers from Halloween, you just watch people. I find it really cool that his power is he's a stealth killer, so he has he doesn't really have a heartbeat at level 1, and you just watch people, and then you get more powerful as you watch them, and all the stealth killers in DBD are the most terrifying to play against. Tony, we got a brand new trailer for Hello Engineer. What the fuck is going on with the Hello Neighbor franchise? They're just fucking doing everything at this point. So first we got Hello Neighbor, a game I played. Okay, it was an interesting horror game where you had to, it was kind of more kid-friendly, break into your neighbor's house, find out the mystery with terrible point-and-click style puzzles. Right? Yeah, and then they were like, let's do a multiplayer one with the secret neighbor, where it's kind of like, I guess kind of like Among Us now sort of thing, where is the best way to put it, because I know lots of people know Among Us now.
Secret Hitler.
Yeah, secret neighbor. So you would pretend to be one of the kids, and then you'd be sabotaging them to stop them from completing their missions by slowly killing them over time.
What the fuck is this trailer, though?
They then had like a cartoon series. There's also another Hello Neighbor game coming out, because there's 3 Hello Neighbors games. And then there's this game, which is the Hello Engineer, and I think you're building machines for some reason. I'm so confused by the marketing of the Hello Neighbor games now that I don't really know what they're even about anymore. It seems like the neighbor is creating a robot to fight you, and from what I read, it said.
It's on Stadia, thank God.
No, I don't. It was a Stadia trailer, but I think it's probably coming to Steam as well.
Oh yeah, I think it is, but I just find it funny that Stadia is apparently still a thing.
But there was a gameplay trailer as well. Wait, live in 3 hours? Okay, we can't watch the gameplay. The gameplay trailer's not out. What the hell? I thought it would be out.
It'd have been 2 hours if it wasn't for GMT.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
No, that's not true.
But... They're based in the UK. It's GMT fucked us here.
Have you... There's like... Okay, this is a complete tangerine. But like, have you seen like a combo... It's like a comedian said like... It's like on what I got news for you, from like... Someone got really confused, like they're watching a football match. It's like, my husband's like in the future, like in a different, like a future time zone. I just text him to see what the outcome of the game was. I'm like, God, I confuse a lot.
I remember in like 2012 when they were like the Mayan calendar was like 2012 in the world. Yeah. And people were like, oh no, it's that day, but. Rip Australia. Australia gets the... they go first because of their time zone sort of thing.
Yeah. Rip.
Yeah. You on to the next...
That's how it works.
This is the...
Mayan people use GMT.
This is one of the... this is the first major update post-launch for Deep Rock Galactic. It's just come out of early access recently. And it's really fucking cool. They've introduced 2 new mission types to this. And so the first one I'll talk about is on-site refining, and I think you're really going to like this mission, Tony, because basically what you do in this mission is there's an on-site oil rig that you need to refuel, and to refuel it, you have to build a pipeline like Satisfactory style across the entire map, which is really fucking cool. And then the second mission is escort duty.
Was that grinding on that?
I don't know actually. The next one's escort duty, where you have to escort a drill tank across the mission that you need to.
That's a cool drill.
Yeah, there's rail grinding, Tony, in Deep Rock Galactic. I actually really want to play this. I should play this. This is really cool.
Yeah.
There's new cosmetics as well. You can get an afro now, Tony. There's now an afro hairstyle. A bowler hat.
Have a night elf thing.
If you are somebody who owns a lot of cosmetics, there's now a random cosmetic option in the wardrobe.
Okay.
There's new quality of life Steam profanity filter. There's a assignment board, visual overhaul, and there's some weapon rebalances. So yeah. I'm going to have to check that out. That looks really cool. I haven't been on Deep Rock Galactic in a while, actually, so that'd be really cool to go back and play the new Pipeline mission. That was really fun. We got a new Darkest Dungeon trailer, Tony. There's a Darkest Dungeon 2 coming out. I know both me and you own Darkest Dungeon, have never played it.
Yes.
I bought it for myself, and then I bought it for you for a Christmas or a birthday or something.
Yeah, was it my birthday last year or like a year before or something?
But I was like, I think this game's really good, so I'm going to get it for you. But the really cool thing about this one, if you can't tell by the trailer, Tony, it's they're maintaining the same 2D art style, but it's also going to kind of be 3D as well, which is kind of a big change. So you can see as the camera pans around, they are 3D, but they're still maintaining like that cel-shaded 2D style of the original.
I really like this art style with the color palette they have. Like, it's really nice.
So, Darkest Dungeon 2 is coming out in 2021. And it will be Epic Games Store exclusive until the game goes out of early access into its 1.0 release, and at which point it's in its 1.0 release, it will release on all other platforms like GOG, Steam, whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Let's move on to quick news. That was the end of the trailers. Rockstar has bought the Crackdown 2 developer Ruffian Games, and they have rebranded them to Rockstar Dundee. So all of the Crackdown 2 developers now work for Rockstar. So we could have a new project in the works, or we could just have them moving over to work on the next Grand Theft Auto 6. But given how things are going, they'll probably be working on Grand Theft Auto 5 on the Switch or something.
Yeah.
Wait, is GTA on the Switch? I'm trolling, but I don't actually remember if they've ported it to the Switch. That
No.
I don't think they have, Tony. There's still time for them to port GTA Online onto the Switch. Anyway, the really interesting thing about this, Tony, was DMA Design, the company, was founded in Dundee. Then DMA was bought and renamed to Rockstar North and moved to Edinburgh. And then people left Rockstar North to form Real Time Worlds, the creators of Crackdown 1 and APB. And then people left Real Time Worlds to form Ruffian Games, the creators of Crackdown 2. And now Rockstar has bought Ruffian and will rename it to Rockstar Dundee. So we've gone completely full circle, where Rockstar developers are now Rockstar developers again, which is pretty funny. Speaking of more developer acquisitions, Serious Sam developer Crow Team has been acquired by Devolver Digital. The very funny quote they put out was, Crow Team and Devolver Digital have been dating for so long that we decided to go ahead and just get married. It makes sense. Devolver's had a very strong relationship with Serious Sam. They're very intertwined at this point, so they might as well have this partnership.
Honestly, I thought they already are under the umbrella, I'll be honest with you.
They said, what's certain is the future together is ultra exciting with new projects like the Talios Principle 2 and Serious Sam games and the original IP from Crow Team and the Crow Team Incubator Studios. I've heard the Talios Principle 1 is amazing, and well, I don't know. I haven't played it yet, but the thing is, it's like a first-person puzzle game, right?
Yeah, with some.
It's kind of.
I think there's some like psychological elements.
I don't know. See, I've been told to like not look up anything about it, sort of thing.
Isn't there a VR version of it as well, which I thought was more impressive?
Yeah, I think Talios Principle VR. It might be. I think it's a separate game you have to buy. Though. Yeah, you get it if you own the Talios Principle. Yeah.
I don't know. I've seen people play it. I wasn't massively convinced, but it is on my wish list. So.
Yeah. Apex Legends is launching on Steam on November 4th, so that is 2 Wednesdays from now if you're watching live.
Okay.
Slightly less than 2 weeks from now.
I like the 2 Wednesdays.
So this is we've known Apex Legends is going to natively launch on Steam. It seems like EA's been moving lots of stuff away from Origin. They've been moving all of their stuff to Steam. They've realized that people aren't big fans of stuff like Origin.
Yeah, who uses Origin?
People that play Apex Legends, Tony. But now they'll be playing on Steam.
Who's other than for Apex Legends? Yeah.
Battlefield 5 players.
Well, RIP,
yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. Apex Legends is coming to Steam with the launch of Season 7. And if you've previously played on Origin, such as me, I think I have like 500 hours, you can actually move over your progression onto your Steam version, which is really cool. I will be doing that. And all Steam players will receive free exclusive Portal and Half-Life inspired gun charms for logging in during Season 7. I think these gun charms have been leaked for like half a year almost. People already saw like the companion cube and the GLaDOS potato charm, so that's pretty cool. Blizzard has announced it's winding down development for StarCraft 2. This is pretty much Blizzard saying this is the death of development for StarCraft 2 at this point.
Yeah, it's been winding down for ages.
Yeah. They're putting it on like a small balance update tier. So it's going to be similar to how HOTS is now, where they're going to finish their commitment to the esports scene of, I think it was ESL was the league they were partnered with. ESL Gaming and GSL are the two leagues that they're partnered with, so they'll continue that for as long as that's happening. But I assume that they'll probably cancel the esports at some point, or at least their side of supporting the esports league will be cancelled, and then it will go over to the fans to host the tournaments if they want to. And
it's StarCraft 3. That'd be great.
StarCraft 3. Well, Tony. Tony. Frost Giant Game Studios has just been announced, and they are going to build the next great RTS with ex-Blizzard devs who worked on Warcraft and StarCraft, and they're backed by Riot Games as well. So that's pretty cool to see. Of course, I don't think I talked about this before, but Dreamhaven was the Mike Morhaime company that he formed, basically as his anti-complete clause in his ex-Blizzard contract. Basically said, you can't compete against us and form another company until this date. And he said, okay. And when that date finished, he was like, Dreamhaven, I'm announcing my own company. But Dreamhaven is going to have 2 studios, Moonshot Games and Secret Door. I don't think we really know anything about what they are working on. All we know is they are forming 2 studios and they're looking to recapture that old gaming spirit.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could have a third-party StarCraft 3, Tony, and we could have a third-party World of Warcraft 2 or something, or Warcraft 4 or something like that, just under different names and IPs.
My biggest issue, like, I don't want like another Torchlight where like you make Torchlight a game. 3. Well, I mean, no, okay, yeah, but I'm saying like even Torchlight 1 and 2, which I think are good games. Like I feel like the story and like for me, like you have to make a good, compelling story as well as good gameplay. For me, anyway. Like I feel like I just hope we get that as well. Like I hope they explore like.
Well, that's always been like the Blizzard charm, is they're very good at making their worlds and the stories and the characters, right?
Yeah, I do. I think I will miss that, but yeah, I think we're gonna have to just accept that Blizzard's kind of dead at this point.
Moving on, Tony, this news will piss you off.
Yes, it does.
All of Mojang's games will now require a Microsoft account moving forward. What do you think about this?
I've already moved over.
Yeah, I already moved over my Minecraft account to becoming a Mojang account, and now I have to move over my Mojang account to become a Microsoft account. So, yeah.
Okay, hang on. Say Minecraft. Why is it new? How is it improved?
You get a cape.
How is it improved?
You get a cape. You get a special cape, Tony. It's literally an upgrade. Recycling is a scam.
I don't give a shit. I don't even like the capes. They're not that well animated.
They're recycling the accounts into Microsoft accounts. That's what they're doing. I think the one thing I will say is you then get Microsoft's 2-factor authentication, which Mojang has been fucking awful with when it comes to 2-factor authentication on the original Minecraft accounts. I think it was a bit better on the Mojang accounts, but it was nowhere near as good as most companies'
My issue is that I
account
fucking
security.
hate the way Microsoft and like all of that, like I don't know why, but like their login systems are just piss me off. I don't know what it is.
Okay, I just thought about this. Wouldn't it be cool if we could, if they just made all the Bethesda accounts into Microsoft accounts? Because then I could not make a Bethesda account and just use my Microsoft account instead with the acquisition.
Yeah.
I don't know.
My issue is like I feel like some like people are gonna get like they're gonna try and merge Microsoft and Microsoft accounts. It's gonna get completely fucked. Like I'm a bit concerned.
It's got improved parental controls to keep your kids safe, Tony. I know that's big for you.
I thought Mojang already had parental controls.
I don't know. Honestly.
Whatever, sure. I think parental controls are cool, but
well, the thing is, Tony, if you move your Java edition to your Microsoft account and you've already got the Java edition, you might as well play the Windows 10 Bedrock edition. And at that point, why does anyone need the Java edition? And we'll slowly phase that out until everyone's playing on C++.
Apart from the mods, because there's no modding API.
No, you can buy mods on the.
No, there's still no proper modding API. It's just like what's it called? Data pack sort of thing.
Resource pack or data packs, yeah, like
yeah, they're like the C++ mods in a way. Although they are also for Java sort of as well.
Yeah. All right. Nintendo is going to reduce the single Joy-Con price to $35 as people have been. Sorry.
What's the old price?
Fucking no, to be honest with you. No plans have been announced to reduce the tax of the Joy-Con. The reason I mention this is not like the actual price drop. It's that people have been complaining about the Joy-Con drift issue. I don't know if you know about the Joy-Con drift issue.
Right. Yeah, I've heard. I thought they fixed that.
There was the analog stick, and there was like the class action lawsuit against it, right? But people were saying when you bought a Joy-Con controller, sometimes you would get it on one, and then they were like, "Oh, it costs so much money to get a new Joy-Con. I just want to cheaply buy one Joy-Con to replace the one that was broken," right? So this seems like Nintendo's trying to help this, but also doesn't want to admit the issue of the Joy-Con drift issue sort of thing. So that's why I thought this was interesting.
So many Joy-Cons, like, didn't the new Xbox controller have a drift issue?
Yeah, I think
I heard that. What's so different? I'm not an engineer, but like, what's the actual issue? Like, what's causing this to be such a big problem?
I have no idea. You'd have to go back to the manufacturing, I think, at that point.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh god.
You remember the boys advert in UFC and EA got into a lot of trouble. NBA 2K21 has inserted unskippable ads into pre-game loading screens.
Didn't they pretend they accidentally did it? Like, what the fuck are you on?
Yep.
We accidentally installed this. Sorry.
Guys, it was an accident. We didn't mean to do it.
It wasn't meant to be unskippable. How do they need more money from these sports games? Honestly. Like, they have loot boxes, right?
Yeah.
They have... You buy it every year. How do you need more money? They have in-game adverts in the game, like in the sports arenas. Do they need more money?
They want more money, Tony. That's the main
Sorry, thing. I'm asking the wrong question.
Yes. You see, the big CEOs, they've only got, $30 million contracts. So they need a few more millions out of the way. Let's just squeeze the stone a bit more.
Would they even notice?
I don't know. The money's definitely not going to the developers of the game. That's
my biggest annoyance. It's like all these monetary things for games. It doesn't go to the developers whatsoever. Or support the game for longer.
Largely, customers were annoyed they were made to watch unskippable ads after paying for a full-price game. Rightly so. Perhaps ironically, NBA 2K21 will charge players extra should they wish to play the current gen title on their next-gen device.
Oh god!
So you're not getting a free upgrade to the next generation console if you already have this on your Xbox One or your PS4. So, yeah. I'm assuming they're either going to remove this or they're just going to double down and have more adverts. The only way to go from here if you're not going to
This is
immediately
2K,
remove it, is just double down until people are like, well, this is what I come to expect of 2K. I'm just going to have to accept it to play my basketball game.
2K is such a massive piece of shit. Like they're not customer friendly whatsoever. So yeah, I feel they're just gonna double down.
Finally, Call of Duty Modern Warfare has finally let you install certain parts of the game separately. People have been asking for this forever. So now, Zombies, Warzone, and the campaign are separate entities. Nice. So Tony, if you're somebody like me who only installed this to play Warzone, you could actually save 130 gigabytes of space you didn't need for anything.
Wait, so the Zombies and campaign is massive.
It's the multiplayer of Call of Duty as well, because you can't play that through Warzone.
Yeah, okay.
So it's the campaign, Zombies, and then the actual just normal multiplayer of Call of Duty.
Yeah, okay.
And it seems
I already thought it for Zombies. So
they said this was coming. This is cool to see because it was getting kind of fucking ridiculous how big Call of Duty was. People were calling it, you know, the biggest game ever. It was like it was over like the 200 gigabyte mark.
I know Linus was meaning like you need like 2 SSDs to install 2 games.
And also, Fortnite's doing this as well. So they're putting out a slightly larger patch of 27 gigabytes, but they're using optimizations on the PC version to make the Fortnite file size smaller. So after this update, Fortnite should be around 60 gigabytes smaller. So that's pretty cool to see. Okay, interesting. We got some Star Citizen news, Tony. Chris Roberts has announced further delays to Squadron 42. The single-player adventure set in the Star Citizen universe.
Every single thing that Star Citizen has done has been delayed. Do we need to specify?
We need to make sure that people know that the thing they paid for 10 years ago is getting delayed again. The funniest part about this, Tony, is this was answered in an AMA, and if you don't know, an AMA is an Ask Me Anything, which is literally what it stands for. And the first rule of the AMA is don't ask any information about release dates. So
there isn't one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do find the way they interact with Unity is kind of bad, kind of funny, but yeah. I feel like I should be more annoyed than I actually am, but I'm kind of just.
So this is what I'm talking about. If you ignore the fans and you double down on the shitness, they'll just be like, I don't care anymore. Whatever.
Yeah. This
is what 2K. I feel like this is the prime 2K strategy.
Yeah.
You just keep ignoring people.
I will say the big difference between 2K and Chris Roberts is at least working towards something that's good for the player.
I said that hyperbolically, but.
No, but I think there's some truth in that. Like, it's still annoying they're not really like interacting with, like, they're not telling the community what's happening or like what they're doing or what the delays are or like where the money's going. Like, it would be really nice to know where our money's going. That would be great. Yeah.
Moving on next. Split screen co-op is coming to Stardew Valley in 1.5.
Excellent.
They also said that PC might be able to have up to 4-player split screen if they want to, and then other platforms such as Xbox or Switch would have 2 players potentially.
And as we all know, Stardew Valley is basically Minecraft.
True. Yeah.
I find that so funny.
Wait, who said that?
I remember.
Okay. True. It's close to Terraria, but it's basically Minecraft.
I just find it funny. It's like I'm just thinking of my redstone contraction. Like, yes, exactly like Stardew Valley. Yes.
Monster Train is getting workshop support. This is always cool to see.
This is good.
I really want to play this game, actually. Monster Train looks really good. I have to pick this up. When it's on sale again, I have to try and pick this up, because they've been doing such crazy good updates for this game.
Well, how big a sale do you want?
I don't know.
What's the...
One I can afford, yes.
Okay. So less than £15. Less than Space Engineers.
Yeah, Space Engineers is too expensive. And Space Engineers is on sale right now. Honestly, they should give me money to play Space Engineers at this point. I hate that game. So they've added mod support. There's Halloween themed graphics in the game, and also there's colorblind options for accessibility. So that's pretty cool. Tony, you'll be interesting to hear this. As someone who owns Raji, Tony, I don't know if you know this, but Raji had DRM in the game. It was an in-house DRM solution that they'd made, and then based on community feedback, they removed it from the game.
Nice.
But it's half community feedback and half the fact that people had cracked the game already. So the DRM wasn't doing it. But it wasn't even technically they cracked the game, Tony. What happened was people used the demo exe and just bypassed the DRM to just play the full game using the demo.
Okay.
So that was like something they fucked up with, but it's still like a kind of a smaller studio, so I expect this sort of stuff from them, right?
Well, I also don't mind it on the release day, to be honest with you. Like, I think there isn't like the first 2 weeks you have DRM and then you remove it. I think should be the way it should go, personally. But
yeah, usually the general rule of thumb is DRM in the first 2 weeks or until it's cracked, and then once the initial purchases have got through with people who would be tempted to pirate the game, you can then take it off for the people who are enjoying the game and want to play it offline.
I think you've made tons of money from the game as well. You probably don't need it either. I don't know how much money they've made from Raji. I hope it's doing well.
I assume not a lot, actually.
It's a fantastic game.
Yeah, but
wait, have you even bought this? Is there no way we can? Is there no way to know?
Yeah, it's really hard these days to know like statistics with Steam hiding everything.
It sucks. Yeah,
I think there's maybe an estimated guess.
Okay, so there's 400 reviews, so that's kind of some
400 copies sold, Tony.
At least,
problem solved. We figured it out. As you know, Tony, every game you purchase, you leave a review on, don't you, Tony?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, honestly, like, I wish there was like a little tick box saying like, yes, add me to the statistics that say how many units have been sold or something.
Yeah, but then you'd get the volunteer bias problem where you would only see the statistics of the people who had opted in, which is a very small amount of people, and it wouldn't be representative.
Yeah, but it's better than nothing.
I guess so. You can kind of like scrape your Steam data and give it to the Steam database.
That's true. Yeah, that is true.
You want to do that?
Figure out. I might do that actually because I feel like they need to know.
Move on to the main news. Facebook's head of VR has said Quest 2 buyers should make sure their Facebook accounts are in good standing before buying a headset. If you don't know, you have to link your Facebook and Oculus account, and we've had a lot of news recently where people have been left with their Oculus Quest 2 as essentially paperweights because they can't link their Facebook account to their Oculus account. People are getting randomly having their accounts disabled. Some people are getting banned randomly.
That's their response. Just make sure your account's good. I'm not going to like address it in any way or make it the problem.
If people are getting randomly banned, just make sure you're not getting. Just don't get banned. What's the deal with getting banned?
I personally think if you've been banned from Facebook, even for like a hate crime, right? I still think you should be able to use your fucking Oculus. Like, I feel like there should be separate entities for logging in.
So does some of the big...
I know the US government
the US government thinks that it's kind of anti-competitive that you have to log into your Facebook account in order to play on the Oculus Quest 2 you bought.
On a side note, you remember when Facebook had to try to make their own cryptocurrency?
Yeah.
Basically, all of Congress was like, right, so if you get banned from Facebook, you can't trade with money. Right, that's not really legal. So I'm hoping that Congress fix this as well.
Facebook has claimed to have a very small number of Oculus users running into login issues. Among the screenshots from Twitter and Reddit, users reporting issues are Oculus support agents supposedly saying they're unable to help with Facebook account issues. So...
Fucking hell. Yeah, don't get a Quest. I'm going to say that now. Until they fix this issue, it's not worth the risk.
At the start of the ongoing global pandemic, Facebook account verification tool warned users of reduced numbers of human verifiers. It's unclear if it has yet found a work-from-home alternative, or that would even be possible given the sensitive nature of handling account details and photo ID.
Yeah. Well, you can get VPNs like from your home to your corporate servers. Like that is a thing you can do. I don't you'd have to be doubly careful, I guess, but I don't see that shouldn't be impossible.
Yeah. More news, Tony. If you delete your Facebook account, that also deletes all of your Facebook purchases.
Why?
So, if you no longer wish to have a Facebook account and you want to delete your account, say goodbye to all those games you bought for your Rift.
And isn't it like against terms and conditions if you put in a fake name? Like it has to be your real name for some. Why is that a thing that's allowed?
I don't know. So basically, there's been a PSA going around at the moment. You can deactivate your account temporarily, so that Facebook can store all your information in a hard drive somewhere where they definitely won't be looking at it, or you can delete your account and it will completely remove all of your data from their servers and definitely won't be on a hard drive knocking around where they won't look at it. Those are your two options with deleting your Facebook account, and one of them results in you losing everything you've purchased for your Oculus Rift. So there's that. A lot of L's coming in for Facebook and Oculus recently.
I fucking hate Facebook right now. It's a fucking shit company with only one good app, and that's WhatsApp. That's it.
I like Instagram.
WhatsApp should be split from Facebook.
I like Instagram.
Fine.
I like
okay,
Instagram.
Fine. I'll accept Instagram.
Okay, fair enough.
Both of these should be split, forced away from Facebook and demerged, in my opinion. Fuck off, Facebook.
Who owns Snapchat? Was it WhatsApp? It was WhatsApp they purchased. Don't know.
They purchased all their competitors. Yeah, Facebook famously bought all their competitors.
Except it's really MySpace, Tony. MySpace is... That's where we're all going to go now. We're all going to go to MySpace.
Yeah, maybe we should. Didn't they try and buy Twitter at one point? I have vague remembrances of like that in like the early days or something.
The Bloodlines 2 senior narrative designer, Cara Ellison, has left the project. I was talking about this on the podcast last month, that the lead narrative designer, Brian Mitsoda, and creative director, Kai Clooney, they left the team 6 months before release, and I said, this is a big fucking red flag, and you were more on the side of, well, maybe, most of the game's done, but now we've had another person leave, that one of the senior narrative designers left the project as well.
Some shit's going down.
This really worries me about Bloodlines 2. There's something's going on here. So yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that. Just all I'll say about Vampire Masquerade: The Bloodlines 2 is I would wait for reviews before purchasing this, because I say that about every game, and I would give that advice for anything. But I would say, especially here, it's like a situation where it seems like it could be dead on arrival. Or we could have.
I'll say this as well. They're probably trying to entice you with pre-order like deals as well, and like extra content. So like, just be careful.
And I would also say that about Atomic Heart at the moment. Atomic Heart looks like it's having some internal struggles.
Definitely.
So we got some paraphrased news from Valve News Network recently about Gabe Newell. And I say paraphrase because apparently what happened was Gabe Newell went into a Zoom call, I think with it was Jeff Knightley and some of the Game Awards team, and he was talking about some of the stuff he's been doing in New Zealand. If you don't know, Gabe Newell went on holiday to New Zealand before the pandemic started, and then he basically got kind of trapped there because the pandemic happened. And then he was there with family, and then he went, you know what, it's better here than in the US, because New Zealand got to a point where they had 0 COVID cases. So it was basically, it was open and non-quarantined at that point. And
beautiful place as well. Hobbits live there.
So Gabe Newell talked about how he said productivity had fallen up to 50% because nobody could do in-person meetings in the office.
Oh, right.
But sorry, I should mention this is some paraphrased quotes because a lot of what was said was NDA'd, so he couldn't directly quote things. This is what Valve News Network has said. So basically, apparently a lot of what got stuff done at Valve was person-to-person whiteboard meetings was a huge part of what happened at Valve. So to have people working at home, people trying to do meetings over Zoom and stuff, the productivity has suffered massively. He talked about some brain-face interface stuff, but obviously I would need way more context rather than just some paraphrase stuff about that.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is Elon Musk and Gabe Newell going to team up to form cyborgs?
Yes.
Okay.
Elon Musk is a Neuralink, right?
Yeah. It's very weird.
He said, according to this paraphrase, he said he considered the idea of moving production teams to New Zealand. So people, I think there was a lot of articles recently that came out that saying, Valve's moving to New Zealand. They're going to move from Belleville, Washington. And apparently he was going to have a meeting with the New Zealand Prime Minister. So these things are true. So Gaben replied to a news article who asked him to comment on this. So he said he has applied for residency in New Zealand. If you don't know, if you spend 6 months in New Zealand, you are then in the same tax bracket as a New Zealand citizen. So at this point,
it's easy to get residency as well.
So at this point, he's applying for residency in New Zealand because I think if Gaben became a citizen, he would be the richest man in New Zealand. Because if you don't know, that wouldn't be hard because New Zealand has 5.6 sheep for every person. There's more sheep in New Zealand than people.
Why is that relevant information to that?
Because there's more sheep than people in New Zealand. There's crazy amounts. They're just going to show you how little people actually live in New Zealand overall.
Okay, I see you going with that.
It's a small country, and they need big investors. Gabe Newell is very valuable to a country like New Zealand, and because he's a billionaire, right? And he has a big
they don't
business.
have like massive industries and they keep going either. They're kind of like self-sufficient in a way. So
Gabe has also he's kind of gone against some of the stuff Valve News Network said. So he said he had no plans to meet the New Zealand Prime Minister. He also said Valve does not currently have plans to open an office in New Zealand, which isn't to say that it would be a bad idea. It's just not something we're working on. So that's kind of more saying, I think he kind of liked the idea of maybe having some developers come to New Zealand. But obviously they're not going to open Valve New Zealand anytime soon, right? That's kind of hyperbole, I think.
Yeah.
So what will come from this, we don't know. If Gabe got more into like the oceanic area, because we know at this point you can't get an index if you live in it's like almost impossible to get like an index if you live in Australia. And Australia has like crazy video game laws. I also know recently.
Yeah, it was like an import problem. Like it got like
video games get taxed like crazy hard in the in Australia, and they also they censor lots of violence as well.
True.
So it'd be interesting to see if the attitude can change towards the oceanic area.
Apparently, there's like loads of cars. It's kind of off topic, but they can't. There's like loads of cars you can't get in Australia either. Like you can't even import them. Like it's crazy.
You'd have to fly them all the way across the ocean on one flight.
And then you have to like pay like 50% or something.
Probably easier to do a boat at that point, on like a big cargo ship.
Yeah, I guess it depends.
Yeah.
There are some very big cargo planes, but it's probably not worth putting a car on that.
But just some interesting news about Gabe Newell. He looks a lot happier and healthier in New Zealand from what I've seen of him. I know he was trying to throw a concert to say thank you to the people of New Zealand.
Than he was before.
Yeah, I think so.
Like he looks way thinner.
I do. There has been a. It's not. So I think recently in New Zealand there has been a small resurgence in COVID. But I think
it's not that big.
I think it's like 30 people, maybe something like that.
They have like 10 million on the island.
I don't know the exact numbers, but yeah. You can look it up, Tony.
Oh, it's even that. Okay, it's like 5 million. Okay.
Exactly, and they're a tiny country.
And it's like, I guess by your logic, is it what 5 point what times? So I need to times that by 5.6 get a number of sheep. That's a lot of sheep.
Yeah, there's a lot of fucking sheep in New Zealand.
There's still more English people than there are sheep in New Zealand, though. I'm just gonna say that.
We'll take him on. England versus sheep.
Yeah.
It would be cool to go to New Zealand and go and see like the Hobbiton area.
Yeah, I really want to do that. That's really cool. I was just say though, I find it crazy how many people actually live in the UK. Like I always forget like how many people there
and
are.
How small it is compared to like every other country, basically.
Like we
got
crazy
new
GDP because
patch notes for October. So these are the beta update patch notes for Among Us. So the big features are you can now have an anonymous vote setting. So if you want to play in your game and you don't want people to know who's voting for who, all votes will be anonymous. There's taskbar settings. So you can make the taskbar only show up during meetings, for example, or never be visible at all, because a lot of like the metagame of taskbars at the moment is people who've played a lot will sit by someone, and then if the taskbar doesn't go up when they're faking a task, they know they're their imposter. So that's kind of like how the game's evolved from that point, yeah. And then, of course, accessibility options. We have colorblind support. So one of the big tasks in Among Us is the wires task, and you have to match wires with different colors. There is now a more accessible mode for colorblind players where each wire now has a shape on it that corresponds to its color. So you'll be like, one wire will have like a square on it, and then you have to match the squares, and then one will have a triangle on it, and then you have to match a triangle, which will help people who are colorblind, which is cool to see.
Yeah, there's no way to distinguish. It's like, that's kind of crazy, the colors they've chosen.
I don't know if you heard about this. Microsoft is going to give GameStop a share of Xbox's digital revenues. This is kind of fucking crazy.
I did hear this, I don't understand.
So GameStop will now share in the lifetime digital sales revenue included for full game downloads, DLC, and subscription plans for any Xbox console sold through their stores. So basically what Microsoft's doing is, if you don't know, GameStop is in the shitter right now. They're shut down tons of stores. Really they're calling in industry titans. They've got like Walmart ex-CEOs. They've got like Reggie from Nintendo. They're like, we need to save fucking GameStop because pre-COVID they were fucked, but now even more so that people can't physically go into the stores, and especially with.
I find it funny.
Yeah,
I find it funny that when you speak to someone about GameStop, like everyone's response I've heard from people I talk to is that wait, they're not already dead.
The really funny thing is Microsoft seems to be giving this this band-aid to GameStop when all GameStop does to survive is try and fuck the developers and the publishers by selling pre-owned games, because that's where they make all their money. And then the game developers, they make all their money from the digital transactions, which then the actual physical GameStops don't get any of the revenue yet. So they've been like at this symbiotic relationship where in the past they needed each other, but then at the same time they were trying to make money for themselves by cutting the other person out. But now Microsoft's giving them a lifeline, it seems like, to try and help them. And you say, why do they do this? Right now, Tony, the PS5 is way more popular than the Xbox at the moment.
Yeah, I did hear about that. So do you think it's like just an effort to like try and get more sales, like they'll push Xbox over PlayStation 5?
Microsoft at this point, Microsoft doesn't care if you're playing on an Xbox. They don't care if you're playing on your phone through xCloud. They don't care if you're playing on a PC. They just want you to subscribe to Game Pass and play their games through Games Pass.
They do care if you buy on PS5.
Yeah,
because that's not good for them at all.
But there's no Game Pass on PS5. So
exactly, that's the problem.
But there's no real Game Pass competitor on PS5 yet, apart from their PlayStation Plus Best of PS4 thing that they came out with.
Yeah.
I'm still not sure how that works. So this was according to Ampere Analysis Piers Harding Rolls that said that the Sony PlayStation 5 will far outsell the Xbox Series X by nearly 2 to 1. So it seems like twice as many PS5s will be sold as the Xbox One according to these statistics. Whether that's true, that will still be, we'll still have to see that. But it seems like Microsoft is doing this just to try and push my Xbox One Series X consoles, right?
Yeah, I guess
it's
that
not
makes
called
sense.
It's Xbox Series X. The naming scheme is so fucking confusing. But
yeah, they need to rename that.
I think they said this on, I think it was TechLinked, where the target demographic now is going to be grandmas who go into GameStop and go, I think he wants one of the consoles. And then he's going to go, he wants the Xbox Series X because we get a cut in that revenue. And it's like, that's the people you're trying to go for? That's your brand? We want grandmas to accidentally buy this for Timmy for Christmas? That can't be a huge proportion of people that you're going to get money from this lifeline they've given GameStop. But we'll have to see how this turns out. One thing I'll mention offhand is apparently Wall Street Bets has been pumping and dumping GameStop stock. Their plan at the moment is to buy tons of, if you know what pump and dump is, their plan is to buy tons of GameStop stock to like artificially increase the value, and then once the value is really high, sell it all and make a bunch of quick money. And if you're saying that sounds like it's illegal, it very much is.
Yeah.
Pumping and dumping is very illegal.
Don't do it, kids.
Apparently, the new Sony update to the PS4 and will continue on to the PS5 will be recording your voice while you're in party chat. This fully emerged. There was a warning message which was quietly added to PlayStation 4 via yesterday's software update. So anyone speaking via party chat on a PS4 could be recorded by someone in their party on a PS5. There was some initial confusion about Sony's warning. Some users read it to mean Sony itself will be snooping in on party chats, but their response was users are seeing a notification about party safety and the voice chats in parties may be recorded. Sony stated via the PlayStation blog, voice chat recordings for moderation is a feature that will be available on the PS5 when it launches. Will enable users to record their voice chats on PS5 and submit them for moderation review. We've got a bit of a Facebook Oculus Quest 2 on our hands where we're definitely not going to always be recording you, but if we need to use that recording that we're always recording of you, we will use it to moderate you.
I find, I feel like I personally don't like the forced always moderation. Like even like in a world where it's like no one, I don't know how you would do this, but like even in a world where like no one would actually listen to it, it's just like bots perfectly doing it. I still feel like it's the wrong way to go about it. Like I feel like it should only be a report system. Like it feels like I feel like we're going very close to dystopian future where we're like, oh, you said something that we deem inappropriate on a party chat, you're going to be removed even though no one cares.
I will play devil's advocate recently because there are people who receive lots of harassment through it.
Absolutely.
Stuff like women who play on consoles or people of certain races receive racism and stereotypes and stuff like that. And it's really hard to cut these people out of games because unless they type it in the chat and you use chat filtering or you see these banned words and you can do that, people will purposely say these things over voice chat because then they know that it's way harder to moderate this.
Why can't we have a system where like the person being harassed reports it and like you have, you know how like I think Xbox and PlayStation has this, but like it records like it continuously just records over and over again the last 30 seconds.
Well, this,
like why
this is kind of what's going on, where they're saying voice chat recording for moderation.
So it's not storing it for later. It's like continuously dumping it.
So this new feature will enable users to record their voice chats on PS5 and then submit them in for a moderation review.
Right. Okay.
So this is saying when you talk to someone in voice chat, they break the terms of service of the PlayStation. You then push a button and you submit that to someone at Sony.
Right,
and they listen to that and they go, "Oh, what this guy was saying was unacceptable," and then maybe they get banned, right?
Yeah, okay. I can get behind that. Okay.
So, yeah. Final piece of info for you on the major news. EA is facing Canadian class action lawsuit over loot boxes. 2 plaintiffs are seeking damages as suit calls out unlicensed illegal gaming system in over 60 titles. The pair asserts that the Criminal Code of Canada prohibits unlawful gaming, betting, lotteries, and games of chance, and since EA does not hold a gambling license in this region, is accused of operating an unlicensed illegal gaming system through their loot boxes.
I agree. They're definitely gambling, and they should have a license and should fit on the box.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine having that. Like, what? Like, is like a 7, like a PEGI 7 or something, or whatever the equivalent is in North America for EA sports games
or something. Like
that. It's like, but it's like PG, like basically, right?
Yeah.
Imagine having to put, oh yeah, it has gambling as well, guys.
May include
that's where it should be.
transactions.
That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll have to, like, as this stuff goes through, it's important to track whether this stuff like goes into court and then actually EA starts getting like legal ramifications of this, because then if this doesn't go through, or if it does go through, that sets the precedent, I should say, sorry, of whether this stuff is okay or not, or you can sue people for this sort of stuff, and it'll be used in future law cases.
Can we have another public one where the EA pretends that it's just a surprise mechanic? It's not really gambling.
The loot boxes are just surprise mechanics, Tony. They're not gambling.
Despite the fact that you can buy a lot of them at once on like other surprise
Tony,
I would still argue it's gambling.
I know you're an Apple. I know you're an Apple fan, so you watched the you watched the new iPhone conference, didn't you?
I watched like 3 people talk about it. Does that count?
Yeah. So we got the new iPhone 12. It's got an OLED screen and it's,
at last,
and 5G speed. So, Dr. Disrespect, don't go near this phone. October 23rd.
Every phone has it now.
It's coming out, starting at £800. It's a 6.1-inch iPhone 12, which is a resolution of 2532 times 1170. That's the resolution of the screen. It has the MagSafe magnet wireless charging. If you don't know what MagSafe is, basically your phone magnetically connects to the Apple's patented MagSafe surface, so it wirelessly charges while sticking to it. Yeah, so it's a lot safer. And
what I find funny about this, like everyone's like, we want this on laptops, not the phone. Yeah, but sure. Like on the phone, they want the USB-C. On laptops, they wanted the Magic Lock, and they're like, nah, we're gonna swap that round.
So this is the A14 Bionic chip, their newest, fastest chip, and everyone has been saying for years, we want faster refresh rate screens, and finally Apple has released a 60 Hz refresh rate screen.
Yeah, it's really bad because like current phones come out from everyone has like 90 to 100.
You look at
like really smooth.
You look at like OnePlus or you know, the Android stuff. You like 90 Hz, 120 Hz, and then it's like, oh, iPhone 12, 60 Hz. Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes Apple is very smart with their innovation, and sometimes they're incredibly fucking dumb.
It's really dumb. Yeah. Well, yeah, because I agree with some things. Like, I think like they don't bother with certain things. Like, it's just a gimmick. But like, I don't think, in my opinion, the refresh rate is not a gimmick. Like, a smooth display is like, it's actually really good.
So there's also the iPhone 12 mini, which is the other iPhone 12.
Isn't there 4 of them?
Yes. So the iPhone 12 mini is the smaller iPhone 12 for £700. And it's a 5.4-inch screen with a resolution of 2430 times 1080. Pre-orders for that start at November 6th. So there is an iPhone 12 Pro and an iPhone 12 Pro Max as well. I just don't care about them. They're just like bigger and have more cameras. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
So, talking about how sometimes they have good innovations and bad innovations, the iPhone 12 does not come with a power charger or earbuds in the box anymore. They're brave enough to remove the headphone jack and then remove the earphones as well.
Well, I think it's funny. Like, I feel like, that's fine, right? Because you've already got phone chargers. Like, no, they in this. I think last year they changed the charger, so if you upgrade from a 10, like you've got the wrong charger. It's like,
so the iPhone 12 box will continue to feature the USB-C to Lightning charging cable, but the earbuds, and power adapter will not. These accessories will be sold separately, Tony, from the Apple Store, of course. Which you can probably buy the cheaper version off on Amazon, probably.
Can I just say this?
Yeah.
I to some extent they're right. I don't think this is why they're doing it. I think it is entirely for face and like get talked about sort of thing. But I think there is something to be said for like you don't always need like another USB charger or another like something you plug into the wall. Like we should be able to like not like. I think the next phone I get, I wouldn't like need a wall charger in any way. But like it should be like an optional. Like some people need it because it's like the first time they're getting it. So there's some logic here, but like it's not well implemented.
Why can't we just all go to USB-C and just give up on this Lightning stuff? It'd be so much easier.
USB 4 are coming out soon as well, and I assume USB-C will be supported there as well.
USB-C doesn't exist. It's much like refresh rates. Doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist on screens.
The iPhone 11 XR and SE will no longer come with earpods and the power adapter, but they will still also have the USB-C to Lightning cable included. So also fuck the iPhone 11, the XR, and the SE. The new SE.
They're so close.
The SE 20.
Adding USB-C.
20, I guess. Is the new iPhone SE out now?
Oh, I don't know. I thought it would be, but maybe not.
Okay, I think it's out now. So kind of some more news. XCOM 2 collection is going to mobile. It's coming to iOS the 5th of November. And this is kind of interesting. What do you think about buying XCOM 2 on iOS, Tony?
No. I don't know. It depends on like I can kind of see it working. Like it's probably a good game. I don't know. I'd have to see how implemented.
So this is coming to iOS within the next couple of weeks. The XCOM 2 collection will be coming to Android next year. But people were very surprised given how poorly it runs on PC even.
Yeah, the textures are much lower here from what I can tell.
People have said the Android, the War of the Chosen expansion did drastically improve performance and load times, but it still wasn't great. So how they're going to get this running on the iPhone 12? Although we did see some Wild Rift gameplay from League of Legends on the iPhone 12 event. That was the big thing they were showing off, was the mobile League of Legends thing. So they are putting more power into like the graphical component of the A14 Bionic chip. So that's interesting.
Right.
I think that's the end here. I think we're done. There's a new Peter Molydeux tweet before we end, so let's read that. I want to make a small game that is like Fall Guys and Among Us. Hopefully when my game comes out in a year or so, you've not all moved on to something else. So guys, if you're playing Fall Guys or Among Us now, keep playing that because Peter's got something big coming specifically to do with those games. You can check us out and everything in between podcast on YouTube if you didn't get to catch us live.
I speculate what he's making.
What do you think he's making then?
Fall Guys in space.
Oh, that's
like 0
yeah. People have already made a VR chat mod that makes Among Us in VR, which is pretty cool to see.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really funny because it has hand tracking, so you can be waving your arms around and pointing at people as you accuse them of being a murderer.
Right.
So yeah, everything in between podcast on YouTube, twitch.tv/Gon if you want to watch live. That's Gon2000. I'll tweet when we're going live. That's the end of the podcast. I will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.